What's going on, Archons? Welcome to another episode of KeyThoughts. And this week, I want to just come in with my 2 cents on the restricted list. So that obviously dropped this week, and it was, I guess, not unexpected. The cards on there, they make the most sense based on what could get broken in the game. Obviously, United Action and Library Access being on there was obvious. Library card as well, obviously just pairing with those things. And it was really interesting just to see how it all kind of came out. And obviously this is the first iteration. There was nothing on there that, or omitted for that matter, that I was kind of surprised about. Except for maybe Tesmal. I don't believe Tesmal was on the list. As I'm super unprepared and going on my phone here with you guys. But the one that really shocked me for that was actually seeing the time traveler on there. Like, why? Why would they do that? Why would they put my dear TT on there? I know Rick was devastated at the fact that time traveler was being restricted. But I mean, it makes sense. Time Traveler is one of the best cards in the game. It's powerful. It's not ridiculous. And yeah, it's just it's really sad because Time Traveler is so cool. Like, who wouldn't want a Time Traveler in their deck? But anyways, looking at the one omission was Tesmal not being on here. I thought was kind of interesting. But for those of you who don't know, the list goes Dark Ember Vault. You're allowed 1 per deck. So there's only 1 per deck. Ghost form. You can have any number of ghost forms in your deck. But and so for those of you who don't understand the way the restricted list works, it's you cannot have a combination of these cards in your deck. So that means you cannot have a Dark Ember Vault and a Ghost Form in your deck. You can have a Dark Ember Vault in your deck, and you can have any number of Ghost Forms in your deck, but you cannot have both of them. So you cannot combo off Martian Generosity and Library Access, for example, if you have something like that. A library card and Martian Generosity, I don't even think that's a thing, but Restringuntis in multiples, you're not allowed either. Science Officer Morpheus is 1 card. I thought that card was actually really interesting, but there must be some things that exist that can get broken with Morpheus, and that's why that's there. And then United Action makes sense. Time Traveler was random, so you can have as many Time Travelers as you want in your deck, but you can only have one of that. So basically the way it works is the restricted list means you can have one of these cards in your deck, but not multiple. So you can't pull in things from different decks and just have this, I guess, broken deck. It sucks you can only have 1 Dark Ember Vault. It would be nice to have 3 in your deck and just pull this cool Dark Ember Vault deck. But alas, such is the case. Also, sorry, Rick, because I know he has an Alliance deck with a couple Dark Ember Vaults. But yeah, the list makes sense. I do imagine it will grow considerably once we finish the KeyForge celebration event later this month, because of the fact that they're going to truly see what seemed broken. And it's going to be very tasteful, though. Like, it's going to be things that create an unfun playing experience, such as the Library Access United Action one, where essentially once you got it, you won the game, which created the rule to exist where they must all be from the same set. And I love that rule. I think it's the most fun part of Alliance, is that it's an alliance of things that have already been balanced. So that is incredible. But yes, the restricted list did not surprise me for the most part. Time Traveler was the only one that really surprised me. Library card a little bit, but I guess just because it's in the vein of Library Access, that makes sense. And of course, Martian Generosity, I knew that would be on there. But the interesting thing about Martian Generosity being on there is that essentially, I think only Restringuntis and Time Traveler could exist with it from that set for the most part. So that's kind of interesting. Maybe library access. Well, I can't even remember. Is library access only in the first set? But it might be a legacy. I guess legacy is always the thing that creates the list to be necessary, because the ability to choose a legacy card and combine it does create interesting scenarios. So I have a feeling that is a big part of it. Science Officer Morpheus was definitely the one that I was like, oh, really? But I assume there are some really cool broken things you can do. I'm assuming Infernus is a big part of that, but you can still do that because Infernus isn't restricted. So yeah, it's a cool restricted list. I think it's a good start. I do imagine it will grow considerably. I want to know your thoughts on the restricted list. Were you shocked? Are you disappointed that something is restricted? And I mean, it's the most necessary thing for the growth of the game. If we look at Magic and the way it grew with its different formats, I think this is a step in the right direction for growing the player base. I'm enjoying Alliance. It's actually provided me more enjoyment than I thought it would. But again, I don't think I will play true competitive Alliance. I'm going to be more the I'll try and build something competitive, but I'm not going to be in the meta per se of what needs to happen. I just want to enjoy making new decks out of decks that I enjoy a component of, but ultimately fall short. So that's going to do it for this week's Key Thoughts. I just wanted to also know your thoughts on the restricted list. So please do comment below, like, and subscribe. I'm going to be much more consistent with my content now that KeyForge is in full swing and I have more opportunity to see the game in a way I haven't before and talk about it as a result. So I hope you all enjoyed this, and as always, may your ember never be stolen and your keys forged promptly. Have a good one.